y'all? It's your girl, Miss Samarachi, and welcome to the first episode of Let Me Cook, where I give y'all my opinion on something and cook up a meal. Yeah. So today I'm going to be making some honey glazed salmon and some mashed potatoes. And I'm going to be talking about how a lot of y'all be asking for prayers that you're not ready to receive. Yeah, let me cook, 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 let me cook. Yeah. So again, I'm going to be making this salmon. Here I have my salmon with me. Of course, I got my mashed potatoes, secret ingredient, chicken broth, oil. I have my seasonings of choice, ground pepper, chili powder, cayenne pepper, and salt. And just to let y'all know, y'all just gonna have to watch what I'm doing, because I don't plan on putting no ingredients list. Well, the ingredients list is right here. I don't plan on doing no directions. It's just season until the ancestors tell you to stop and make it, you know, look how you want it to look. I don't know. I ain't no chef, but I just like to cook. So yeah, let me cook. So like I said, today we're going to be talking about how a lot of y'all be asking for prayers that you all are not prepared to receive. This was prompted because there was a couple that went viral. Again, they go viral very often on TikTok. Their family is like well known on TikTok. So again, recently they went viral because what's his name? Tony, like, wrote a bunch of letters for J-Lo for Valentine's Day and did all these things, whatever. And everybody kept saying, oh my God, J-Lo, what was the prayer? What's the prayer? What's the prayer? What's the prayer? What was the prayer? What was the prayer that you did to get Tony as a husband, right? Now, this is not the first time that I've heard this what's the prayer question. I've heard it as it pertains to Sierra and Russell. I've heard it from Kelly Rowland and Tim Witherspoon. I hear it pretty often. Like, a lot of people ask, excuse me, a lot of people ask other people what the prayer is that they did to receive the husband, usually the husband, but sometimes the wife, that they received. And the reason why I want to push back on that, and this is coming from somebody who also used to ask, what is the prayer? I want to push back on that for a few reasons. Number one, and this is coming from somebody who, I'm really in my word. I'm really about this church life. I've really been in church a lot lately. And so that's why, like, this is really important to me to, like, talk about, right? First of all, you all don't know what you're asking when you ask people what's the prayer, right? You don't know what you're asking for, and you don't know what you could potentially be ushered into, right? Why do I say that? This is not to say that anybody who is being asked what is the prayer does these things or engages in this type of activity, but you don't know what these people did to get the husband or wife that they have, right? So you're asking what's the prayer, and the whole time the prayer could have been to a God that you don't worship. But you also have information and knowledge now that these people may or may not worship our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, right? God. And you like, now you have to make the decision of, okay, you know the prayer now. You gonna pray to that demon? You gonna pray to that other God? I'm not gonna do that, right? And so again, that's one of the reasons why I stopped asking, what's the prayer, what's the prayer, what's the prayer. A lot of people are asking what the prayer is, but they don't know who this prayer is being prayed to, right? And so as somebody who, again, is really like in her religious bag, I don't know. I get nervous when people ask what's the prayer, because you don't know who the prayer is going to. You don't know what kind of things or people that these folks consulted in order to receive the husband or wife that they have. And so in you asking what's the prayer, you're putting yourself in a situation or a potential predicament where you're going to be made privy to or introduced to gods, witches, wizards, demons that you may not be prepared to accept or want to accept for yourself. So so the first reason why I don't ask people what their prayer was, because I don't know who or what they prayed to in order to receive the thing or the person that they prayed for. Number two, the second reason why I stopped asking people what their prayer was because people show you what they want you to see, right? And I feel like this is a known thing, but I need to remind y'all again. people show you the parts of their relationship that they want you to see. And so the parts of their relationship that we're seeing, right? The parts of Sierra and Russell's relationship that we're seeing, the parts of Kelly Rowland and Tim Witherspoon's relationship we're seeing, the parts of Jayla and Tony's relationship we're seeing are obviously the good parts, because very rarely are people going to show you the bad parts. Very rarely are people going to show you their bad times, right? The times when they might not get along, the times where they might disagree, the times where they, you know what I'm saying, might hate each other, right? Again, not saying or putting that on anybody, but you never know what people are going through behind closed doors. And so when you asking what the prayer is, you're also negating and taking away the fact that every relationship goes through things, right? And you're asking for this prayer. You're asking for this prayer, and you don't even know what all comes with the prayer. You don't even know what all comes with the person. I mean, case in point, and I really hate this because honestly, I love her as not love, but I really like her as an individual, Tiana Taylor. I really, really hate this for her, but a lot of people used to ask Tiana, and I would see this all the time. Tiana, what was the prayer like? Imam, what was the prayer? Oh my gosh, they used to glorify and just like, you know, make the relationship between her and Iman like a God type relationship. Like they would be worshiping them like they were gods and goddesses. And like now we see, you know what I'm saying, unfortunately, things that have been made privy to the public, what their relationship entails, some of the trials and tribulations and unfortunate like things that they went through in their relationship, to where now they're going through a divorce, and unfortunately a public one that they try to keep private. But this just goes to show you that, again, you never know what people are going through behind closed doors, because every time whole time y'all are asking what's the prayer, the person that you're asking what's the prayer could be trying to get out of the relationship that you're praying for. So all while you're sitting here asking what's the prayer, they probably want to say, baby, stop praying. Stop praying for that. Stop praying that prayer. Because I don't even want to be in this relationship. I don't even want to say the prayer that I gave because now I'm in a situation where I want out. I don't want to be with this person. I despise this person and all manner of things. And again, like, it really breaks my heart because once again, it looks great from the outside, but you never know what people are going through behind closed doors. And so you're sitting here asking them what their prayer was, and the whole time, maybe they're praying to get out. That same prayer that they prayed, they're praying that they didn't pray that prayer. See this salmon, baby? Do you see this? You see how beautiful and coated that is? That's what you want your salmon to look like. You want that junk to be okay, so another reason why I stopped saying what's the prayer once again was because I had to be honest with myself and recognize that sometimes there was a time where I was praying for something that I wasn't even prepared for. Now that's a realization that will hit you in your throat. You sitting here praying for a husband or a wife, you haven't even healed from the traumas you endured as a child. You sitting here praying for a new car, you don't even know how to manage the finances that you have now. You got a free car from your granddad, but because it wasn't a Mercedes Benz, you ain't want it. But now you sitting here praying for a new car. You sitting here praying for a relationship when you're still trying to be in a relationship with your ex. Your ex still think that y'all are in a relationship because you didn't have the courage or the maturity for real to end things with your ex. So now you sitting here asking God for a new relationship when whole time you never healed from the relationship you was in before. You haven't healed from the traumas you've endured, right? You haven't healed from the things that you need to heal from in order to really be in that relationship and make sure that you don't sabotage it. And I'm speaking from experience, y'all. I was that girl. I had to be honest with myself that I wasn't ready for certain things that I was praying for, specifically when it pertained to men. About 2 years ago, I used to be like, I'm ready to be your wife. 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 Then I went to therapy, and I was like, thank God that I didn't get a husband before I went to therapy, because there were so many things that I had to heal from, deal with, be honest with myself about, that I wouldn't have been able to do had I had my husband when I wanted it, right? And that's what I'm challenging a lot of y'all to do. Really look introspectively and think about, am I in the place mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially, right? Am I in the place where I'm sitting here praying for a Russell, but if I got a Russell today, would I be able to really hold on to him, or would I, you know what I'm saying, throw him away like I did the last Russell that I was able to get, right? Like, am I emotionally mature enough to handle a man like Russell Wilson? Am I emotionally mature enough to handle a man like Tim Witherspoon, right? Do I need a man like Tim Witherspoon? Do I need a man like Russell Wilson? That's another thing. Y'all be asking for men that y'all don't need. You know for a fact the man that's going to help you grow as a woman is less of a Russ and more of a Future. No shade. But you sit here asking for a Russ knowing that you really want a Future. Knowing that you really want a Lil Durk. But you asking for a Tim Witherspoon. You asking for this kind, caring man, and you're mean. You're not a good person. You're not nice. You're not family oriented. You don't even want kids. But you asking for Russell? Huh? Once again, I need y'all to be so for real. Like, be so for real. Like, be honest with the things that you know you can handle. Be honest with the people that you know you can handle, because God might give you that thing you asking for. And then when you self-sabotage, when you throw it away, God gonna be like, I told you. But you was so hell-bent on, I want to wrestle, I want to wrestle, I want to wrestle, I want to wrestle. You got your wrestle, but you threw him away. Now you're never going to get a wrestle again, because I told you wasn't ready and you didn't listen. It's really important that you are intentional with the things that you ask for, right? And it's very important that you're honest with yourself about the things that you're ready for. And you may not be ready for, you know, that Russell Wilson type husband. You might not be ready for a Kelly Rowland wife. You might not be ready for, you know what I'm saying, a Jayla type wife. You may need to be single for a little bit longer, right? God might be calling you into your single era. But you so pressed because everybody around you look like they, you know, getting married. And I know what it's like. You know what I'm saying? One of my good girlfriends, she got married. She's June will make 6 months that she's been married. My best friend is getting married soon, but she's engaged. My cousin, he got married in September. Like, a lot of people around me are getting married or have gotten married, right? And so one would be like, dang, bruh, like, when's my time coming, you know? Or they will feel like they are pressed to be married. But at the same time, I'm not pressed to rush into anything that God has not ordained, right? That God has not called me to right now, right? In the time that I'm waiting for my husband, I am healing. I'm praying for my husband, but I'm not praying for anybody else's husband. I'm not saying anybody else's prayer except, Lord, send me the man that you have created for me, right? Send me the man that is for me, that is going to treat me like the queen I am, that's going to treat me like the child that you created, right? And so that's why it's for me, like, I'm not really pressed on, I no longer ask like, oh, such and such, what's your prayer, because I don't want to ask for somebody or something that's not for me. Alright, y'all, the meal is done. Once again, we got salmon with mashed potatoes. If you hear somebody in the background, it's my brother. He crushing his salmon. Crushing it. I just made a little hot honey sauce to put on top. Truffle, honey, and butter. A little hot honey butter sauce. I literally just poured it on top. But like I said, the statement still remains. Stop asking for things that you're not ready for. Stop praying for things that you're not ready for. Cool? Got it. Thank you for coming to another episode. The first episode of Let Me Cook. Now I'm about to eat. Y'all be blessed.